All right, about to check to make sure the live is good and audio is good. I got my sage burning. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right. About to get started. Salakia. Bear with me. Here we go. All right. The article had disappeared, but it came back. I had got it back. All right. And that's my sage. Okay. This is sage. Gotta let that be known, because scoffers are watching the true men of the Lord. All right. And they're trying to overthrow the men of the Lord, but it's not gonna happen. But shalom, shalom. Before I get started, want to give all praises going on to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakadash. All right, and double honors to the old apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same and teaching the same. All right, wherever you at, scattered in the earth. All right, this is the brother Mawam coming back with another sit down. All right, and this is I got this article by democracynow.org. All right, and it's basically the way I got this article. I was watching a clip from some podcast. It's like, I think it's like a million. The name of the podcast is $1 million something, but it's a Jake, black Jake, bald head, beard, with the glasses. But he did a sit down on what Barack Obama was saying about what Trump is doing, far as taking away funding, from these universities, all right, and these law firms, So basically, if they don't like bow down to his wishes, they can't get no funding. Okay, that's the simplest way to put it. All right. So about to read this article and get some precepts, and Lord willing, is edifying. All right. So this is by democracynow.org. Okay, it says Trump administration freezes nearly $2 billion in funding to Northwestern Cornell universities. All right. So if this continue, Lord willing, they continue to get out of hand, and Lord willing, he just take away their funding, it's going to it's just fuel for the fire. All right. Even though Trump he think he's the Lord has him in a trick bag. All right. The Lord has Babylon the Great, America, in the trick bag. Okay. Trump thinks he's adding pressure, and he's trying to, quote unquote, make America great again. All right. But it's all going to backfire. These tariffs. All right. These sanctions is all going to backfire. All right. Babylon the Great, America is proposing a nuclear deal with Iran. They not about to reach no agreement. Okay, and let me get a precept on that. All right, they're not gonna reach no agreement. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because it's already, prophecy. It's not according to prophecy. All right, it's not the will of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. All right, we're in the last days. We're in the end times. So the Lord is starting World War III. All right, and the Lord is about to bring about Jacob's trouble in the end of this empire. All right, in the age of Esau, the so-called white man, according to Second Ezra, the 6th chapter. All right, and this 6th verse on down. All right, so this First Thessalonians 5:3. All right, First Thessalonians 5:3. So like I'm at the wind the windows down. That sage ain't playing. starting to tear up. All right. And I'm going to show the camera again. This is Sage. Because I know scoffers, scoffers be watching. All right. And most of the time I only get scoffers that comment on my page. All right. When I check my YouTube studio, it'd be Edomites commenting on my shit. All right. So it says this First Thessalonians 5:3. All right. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Okay. So it's not going to be a time of peace and safety. It's going to be the total opposite. Okay. And that's not to say things might not die down. All right. Because that has happened in the past. After the pandemic and stuff like that. All right. Things died down. But guess what? Hey, it's about to Jacob's trouble is about to happen. Okay. Society will collapse. Okay. Prices are about to go through the roof. Life is about to get very hard for you people. Okay. That trust in this system and trust in this government to provide resources to you. All right. So let me go back to this article. All right. So it says the Trump administration is freezing $790 million in federal funding to Northwestern University. All right. And this got people in the uproar across the country. All right. They think it's wrong. They think it's excessive. Just, and like I said at the beginning, basically if they don't dance to Trump administration's beat, guess what? You get your funding taken away. Not that long ago, they had I forgot at what university. They had this Edomite, student, and he did a essay on what's going on in the war in Gaza. All right, he did an essay on that, and he was pro-Palestinian. Shit, they suspended him, expelled him. I mean, they expelled him. So yeah, hey, Revelation 12:12. So the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is about to be done away with under the Trump administration. Okay, and at one interview Trump had, he said, "I'm the chosen one." All right, that came out of Trump's mouth. That was not that long ago, but Trump said out of his own mouth, he's the chosen one. All right, which he's will be Nero in the reincarnation. All right, so under the Trump administration, he's going to lead Babylon the Great America into World War III. Okay, and under I forgot the policy, but he's going to be the last president. Okay, it's not going to be another presidential election. Okay, and things are speeding up because he think if he apply pressure to these countries, that they're going to bend to his will. All right, and the opposite is going to happen. Okay. All right, and by him doing this, attacking these different universities and law firms, that's just causing people to uproar on the internet and protest. All right, which is not it's not serious right now, but it very well could be, and that's just another, like I said, another wood in the fire. Okay, more gasoline for the fire. All right, so this place is in total confusion. All right, the city of confusion. Let me get that. All right, it's nothing but confusion in Babylon the Great in 2025. All right. Bear with me. It's Isaiah 24. All right. This Isaiah Isaiah chapter 24 and 10. Isaiah 24 and 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right. So yeah, this place is chaotic. All right. Everybody is confused. People are panicking. People are looking at the stock market and the economy, and people are panicking. All right. It's to the point you got a lot of whistleblowers now. You got even more whistleblowers. Okay. You know, you got everybody and they mama trying to be a prophet. But the true men of the Lord are beginning with the elder apostles, great millstone, down to the least of us. All right, that call upon Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. All right, and push out this truth. All right, this doctrine is 100% truth. Okay, so it don't matter that you got hundreds of people getting on the internet and be like, well, you better stock up now and prepare. The economy about to crash. It's so evident that this place is going down. You got everybody and their mama trying to be a prophet. All right, you got so many women. All right, trying to warn of what's to come. But guess what? The men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for going on 4 decades. All right, been saying that all of this was going to happen. All right. So verse 11, Isaiah 24 and 11. There is a cry. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. That's exactly. All right. So all mirth is gone. People are stressing. All right. Those days of people like just partying, having family reunions and anniversaries, all that shit is the past. Nobody having family reunions and anniversaries. All right. A lot of people are behind their mortgages. Okay, a lot of people is in debt. All right. People are not buying houses how they used to. Okay. So on and so on. Okay. Experts are warning that Babylon the Great America is already in the recession. Which let me get that. Let me see. This Revelation chapter 6. All right. This Revelation chapter 6 and 6. All right. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. All right, which that word in the blue letter, it goes to denario. All right. So it says, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay. So that's going into hyperinflation. Okay. And the oil and the wine represents this truth and the elect. All right, so we trust that Proverbs 18 and 10, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi is their strong tower. So that's why the scriptures say this. Let me get it. Bear with me. This 2 Timothy chapter 1 and 7. For Yahawah have not given us the spirit of fear, all right, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Okay, so Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi gave us what? This truth, his Holy Spirit. All right. Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Isaiah 33 and 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, is his treasure. Exactly. All right, so we're going to be stable. We're not panicking how people of the world are. People of the world, like I say, they looking at these wars and rumors of wars, and they panicking. Okay, they see the draft is on the rise. Okay, you got other countries they're doing the draft. Okay, so people are looking and they're like, that's coming over here. All right, and they're afraid, you know. But those of us in this truth, we trust in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right, so we don't fear what's coming on the earth. All right. So as this kingdom going down, the kingdom of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is rising. All right, which is going to be on earth. The kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth. All right. Like the scripture says, the kingdom of heaven is within you. All right. It don't come by observation. All right. You know. So, and that's what the so-called Jewish. That's what they don't understand. You know, Amalekites over there in the land of Israel. All right. They don't understand that that third temple is the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. It's not a literal temple. Okay. So them trying to build, which they not gonna finish. All right. They don't got enough time. Okay. You got too much war and you got war going on. You got trade wars going on. All right. You got so much going on. So they don't even got enough time to even focus on that. All right. The Lord is bringing this place down speedily. All right. Okay. So let me go back to that article. All right. So it says, all right. And it says, and more than $1 billion in funding to Cornell University. Okay. So the Trump administration is freezing funding to these 2 universities. All right. And Lord willing, he keep doing that because that's putting people in the uproar. All right. That's what Esau don't understand. This shit gonna backfire on him. You know, he think by applying pressure that they're gonna get results. You know, they're gonna get results, all right, but it's gonna be bad results. So it says, this is the latest attack on higher education as dozens of universities face investigation into allegations of anti-Semitism. Okay, so. Under the Trump administration is taking away funding from these universities just because they doing essays and talking about the war in Gaza between Israel and the Palestinians. All right. So just because of and that's an attack on free speech. All right. You know, that's why people are in the uproar. Okay. You know, you got protests. Okay, people are protesting. It's peaceful. It's peaceful protests right now. All right, these protesting is peaceful, but it's going to escalate. All right, it's going to escalate. Okay, and Barack Obama, you know, he was saying that these universities they need to stand up. And these are quote unquote Obama words. They need to stand up against the injustice that the Trump administration is doing. And he telling them don't be afraid and don't be afraid to put your foot down and all that. So hey, Satan is divided. You know, if a house is divided, it can't stand. All right. So Babylon the Great America is divided politically. All right. Religiously too. All right. Bear with me. Just got it. Buku people coming to this part. But it says, all right. Let me read it again. It says, this is the latest attack on higher education as dozens of universities face investigation into allegations of anti-Semitism and claims of racial discrimination amid Trump's efforts to gut diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. All right, which they did away with that. They did away with that. Okay. All right. And that shows you that the small hats are in control. All right. That show you that the small hats is in control, okay? Because really and truly, the Trump administration is doing this because of the small hatters, All right, because of the Jewish. The Jewish is like, um, hey, that's anti-Semitism. You know, and Trump, you know, they nothing but puppets. So they got to do what the Amalekites tell them to do. All right. So that's where it really coming from. I'm probably, let me see. Well, how much time? Okay. Uh, Let me see. I'm gonna read 3 more passages, and I'm gonna get some scriptures, and then that'll be it. So it says, stock markets around the world are plummeting after President Trump's sweeping and unprecedented tariffs. Okay, on imports to the United States took effect at midnight. They include they include across the board tariffs of 104% on on Chinese goods, which prompted China to retaliate with levies of 84%. Okay, and China ain't backing down. So China is ready. They bought whatever. Okay, China is bought whatever. Okay, so that war, that warmongering spirit is back on the earth. Okay, all right. It never really left, but the Lord is cranking it up. All right, because ever since Esau, the so-called white man, been in rulership of power, it's always been war on the earth. Okay, it's been non-stop war since Esau, the so-called white man, been ruling the earth. Okay, all right. So it says, hang. Oh, it's like it. It says Hong Kong's benchmark Hang Seng index fell by over 13%, its biggest one-day drop since 1997. All right, Japan's Nick, I don't know how to say that. Japan's Nikkei index fell by nearly 8%. Markets in India and the Middle East also tumbled. All right. Okay. So it says, on Tuesday evening, Trump celebrated the chaos set off by his trade war, telling an audience at the National Republican Congressional Committee annual gala that foreign leaders were lining up to make a deal. Okay? So it says, President Donald Trump, I'm telling you, Salakia, this is a quote from Donald Trump. All right? This is a quote from Donald Trump. It says, President Donald Trump, and it says, I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir. All right. And Trump said that in an interview. All right. One of the at the National Republican Congressional Committee. All right. It says, and this will be the last passage that I want to read. It says, on Wall Street, Goldman Sachs has further raised the prospect of a recession in the next year, now putting the odds at 45%. A CNBC survey found 2/3 of U.S. corporate executives believe Trump's trade war will trigger a recession. Okay? And he ran away from that question, So all the people, all those Trump supporters, that say, Trump ain't afraid to speak the truth and things like that. He got asked that question. A lady asked him, what do you have to say up to the American citizens that think you're leading them to a recession? That nigga skipped that question. So this place is going down. All right, this place is going down. All right. There's Isaiah 47 from the top. All right, Isaiah 47 from the top. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. All right, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay, so the Lord is bringing this place down. All right, That's the true answer. All right. Let me go. This Revelation 18. All right. Bear with me. I gotta find this precept. This Revelation 18 and yeah, here you go. In 3. All right. Okay. This Revelation 18 and 3. This is what I wanted. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right. So these nations, that's a part of the NATO and the EU. They have gotten rich off of doing business and commerce with Babylon the Great America. Okay. And Trump just stated, in the news, that Babylon the Great America under the Biden administration, they was getting overtaxed, okay, on goods and services, that these countries was getting from Babylon the Great America. All right. And he was saying, he said China was making trillions a year off of America. All right. But they wasn't buying resources that much from Babylon the Great. Okay. So Trump is, he's saying that by him adding these tariffs, it's going to force them, in these other countries, to do business inside of Babylon the Great. All right. And to buy more from Babylon the Great, which is going to do the opposite. All right. It's going to do the opposite. So it says, they must be having an event at this park because they got a lot of people pulling up. All right. So this Revelation 18 and 3, finishing it off, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Okay. They took part. They used the Federal Reserve. Okay. As the trading dollar. All right, to buy goods and trade in the U.S. dollar. Okay. They took part in Babylon the Great America's democracy. Okay. And they even adopted Babylon the Great America's religious belief too. Christianity. All right. Christianity and Islam, they're the two they have the most followers, all right, in the world, especially Christianity. Christianity is at the top. Okay. They got billions of followers. Because why? Because the Christianity doesn't require you to change. Okay. Anybody can become a Christian. All right. But you can't. Nobody can. You have to be an Israelite by blood. Okay. That's why we say this truth is not about a religion. Okay. It's a nationality thing. It's a heritage. Okay, of the Israelites, the 12 tribes, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay. But Christianity doesn't require you to change. You can just, anybody and their mama can just say they're a Christian now and still be eating shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork. All right. And celebrating all of these pagan holidays. Okay. And going to a LGBTQ wedding. Okay, a wedding. All right, because you actually have those in these last days. That's why Babylon the Great America is also spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, because it does everything that these ancient kingdoms did in the past. Okay, so it says back at verse 3, it says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right, so that's how these nations have gotten rich, off of Babylon the Great America, which Donald Trump said that in that interview. He said Babylon the Great, he didn't say Babylon, but he said America is like a bank, all right? A bank, to these other nations, all right? That's basically it. Oh, let me get another precept, Salaki. All right. This second Ezra's 9, get the uproars. All right, second Ezra's 9 and 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, okay, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right. All right. And we seeing that, okay? We seeing the uproars of the people. All right. So now you got more uproars of the people at these universities. Okay. So it might seem like small potatoes. Oh, that ain't shit. That's only like a couple hundred people. It's still something. Okay. So it's gonna lead into more chaos. All right. So Lord willing, that was edifying. Want to end it and give all praises going on to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakak Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, rolling teach you well, and the honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same and teaching the same. Abba, and call me Ashallah.